I wasn't like other babysitters.
Behind her warm smile and gentle touch, a darkness festered. She wasn't just a teenager, she was a vampire demon, ancient and filled with an insatiable thirst. This thirst wasn't for blood, not entirely. It was for revenge.
They locked me away, deemed me insane and dangerous. They called me delusional, a danger to myself and others.
They didn't understand. They didn't know the power that coursed through her veins, the power she could unleash with a thought. But they would learn. Carr would make sure of it. The white walls of the mental hospital mocked her. They whispered her supposed insanity, echoed the judgments of doctors who couldn't comprehend the truth. Each day fueled Carr's rage, every therapy session a reminder of her imprisonment.
I played their game, pretending to be a scared girl, a victim of my own mind. But behind the facade, a plan was brewing. A plan as dark and twisted as the entity that resided within me.
They would pay for stealing her freedom, for trying to extinguish her power. Carr would have her vengeance. She would make them all regret the day they locked her away. Released into a world bathed in the blue glow of computer screens, Carr saw her opportunity. She created an online profile, her picture radiating innocence, her bio a carefully crafted lie.
Carr's babysitting services, your child's best friend, it proclaimed.
The internet, a tool for connection, became her hunting ground. Unsuspecting families desperate for reliable childcare scrolled through profiles, unaware of the monster lurking behind the screen.
I waited, my finger hovering over the mouse, a predator patiently stalking its prey.
Soon, the requests started pouring in. Her plan was in motion. The Miller family seemed perfect. A loving couple, 2 adorable children, and a beautiful home nestled on a quiet tree-lined street. They were oblivious to the danger that lurked at their doorstep, the darkness disguised as a teenage babysitter.
I arrived with a smile, my true nature expertly concealed.
The children, charmed by her gentle demeanor, readily took her hand. As the front door closed behind them, a chill swept through the house, a harbinger of the horrors to come.
The night was young and I was just getting started.
Their screams would be music to her ears. Section 5. Whispers in the Wind. The next morning, the idyllic town of Maplewood was shaken. The Miller family was found, changed. Their once vibrant eyes now stared into eternity, their bodies drained of life, twisted into grotesque postures. The authorities were baffled, whispering about a ritualistic killing, a madman on the loose. But in the shadows, Carr smiled. Her power, her true nature, had been unleashed. The whispers of fear were a symphony to her ears, the growing unease a testament to her terrifying capabilities. She had tasted the first fruits of her revenge, and her thirst was far from quenched. There would be more, many more. Section 6. The nightmare continues. As the body count rose, the town descended into chaos. The once peaceful streets of Maplewood were now filled with fear and uncertainty. Every corner seemed to hide a new terror, and the townspeople could feel the weight of dread pressing down on them. Each night Carr chose a new family, each murder more horrific than the last. The brutality of his actions left the community in shock, unable to comprehend the evil that had descended upon them. The once safe homes had turned into scenes of unimaginable horror. The authorities were clueless, their investigation leading to dead ends and whispers of the supernatural. Rumors spread like wildfire, with each story more terrifying than the last. The detectives, despite their best efforts, found themselves chasing shadows, unable to grasp the true nature of the threat. Parents gripped their children tighter, fear etched on their faces. The sense of security that once enveloped the town was shattered, replaced by a constant state of vigilance. Families huddled together, praying for the nightmare to end. Sleep became a luxury, every creak of the floorboard, every rustle of leaves outside the window, a potential harbinger of Carr's arrival. The nights were long and filled with terror, as the townspeople lay awake, dreading the sound of footsteps approaching their doors. The town of Maplewood, once a beacon of peace and tranquility, had become a breeding ground for terror. The streets that were once filled with laughter and joy were now deserted, as fear took hold of every heart. And Carr was the architect of their nightmares. His presence was felt everywhere, an omnipresent shadow that loomed over the town, feeding off their fear and despair.
The town's in a panic. The once tight-knit community was now fractured, with trust eroded and suspicion rampant. Neighbors eyed each other warily, unsure of who might be the next target. We need to find this monster before it's too late. The urgency in their voices was palpable as they banded together, determined to reclaim their town from the clutches of terror. The hunt for Carr had begun, and failure was not an option.
Section 7. The blood moon rises. One night, a blood moon hung heavy in the sky, its presence felt by every living creature in Maplewood. Its crimson glow casting an eerie pall over Maplewood. The town seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something dreadful to unfold. It was on this night, fueled by the lunar energy, that Carr's powers reached their zenith. The energy from the blood moon surged through her veins, amplifying her strength and dark abilities. Carr, who had been hiding in plain sight, now felt an overwhelming surge of power. Her abilities, once kept in check, were now unleashed to their full potential. She no longer needed the pretense of a babysitter, her true form now too powerful to contain. The disguise she had worn for so long melted away, revealing the terrifying demon beneath. Her transformation was complete, and her true form was a sight to behold. A powerful, menacing figure that radiated dark energy.
The time has come. Let the world see my true self. No longer will I hide in the shadows.
With a terrifying shriek that shattered windows and sent animals fleeing in terror, Carr, the vampire demon, was unleashed upon Maplewood. The sound echoed through the night, a harbinger of the chaos to come. Carr, the vampire demon, was unleashed upon Maplewood. Her presence was felt in every corner of the town, a dark shadow that loomed over the once peaceful streets. Her victims, paralyzed by fear, could only watch in horror as she descended upon them, her eyes blazing with unholy fire. The terror in their eyes was a reflection of the nightmare that had become their reality. Her eyes blazing with unholy fire, Carr's gaze pierced through the darkness, instilling fear in the hearts of all who saw her. Her fangs glinting in the unnatural light, she was a predator on the hunt, and Maplewood was her prey. The night of the blood moon would forever be etched in the town's memory. It was a night of terror and despair, a night when the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural were blurred. It was the night Maplewood truly understood the depths of Carr's depravity. The town would never be the same again, forever haunted by the memory of the blood moon and the horrors it brought. Section 8. The Legend of Carr. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of lavender and gold, an eerie silence descended upon Maplewood. The reign of terror was over for now. Carr was gone, vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of carnage and a town scarred forever. The legend of Carr, the vampire demon babysitter, spread like wildfire. It became a chilling, cautionary tale whispered from parent to child, a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of their seemingly peaceful world. But in the shadows, Carr watched, waited, and planned her return. Her thirst for vengeance, far from being satiated, burned brighter than ever. The town, forever changed, learned to live with the memory of Carr. They implemented safety measures, established neighborhood watches, and never again took their peace for granted. A sense of paranoia lingered, a constant reminder of their vulnerability. But amidst the fear, a spark of defiance ignited.
A group of teenagers, determined to uncover the truth behind the legend of Carr and put an end to the nightmares that plagued their town, began their own investigation. They delved into old police reports, interviewed witnesses, and pieced together the fragments of Carr's past. Their search led them to the abandoned mental hospital, the place where Carr's reign of terror had been conceived.
The teenagers, armed with newfound knowledge and a shared sense of responsibility, confronted Carr. They had spent countless nights researching, piecing together the history of their town and the dark force that had plagued it for generations. With every discovery, their resolve grew stronger, and their unity became unbreakable. They challenged her, exposed her lies, and used their collective will to weaken her powers. Each teenager played a crucial role, whether it was through their bravery, intelligence, or sheer determination. Together they formed an unyielding front, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. Their courage, fueled by the love for their town and the memory of those lost, proved to be Carr's undoing. The bonds they had forged in the face of adversity became their greatest weapon. As Carr's power waned, the town's spirit soared, and the once oppressive atmosphere began to lift.
In a final climactic showdown, Carr was vanquished, her reign of terror brought to an end. The battle was fierce, with the very fabric of reality seeming to tremble under the weight of their struggle. But in the end, The light of their unity pierced through the darkness, banishing Kar forever.
The town of Maplewood, forever scarred by the experience, emerged from the darkness, united in their grief. The streets, once shrouded in fear, now echoed with the sounds of healing and rebuilding. The townspeople, though marked by their ordeal, found strength in their shared resilience and their determination to honor the memory of those lost. They erected memorials, held vigils, and shared stories of bravery and sacrifice. Each candle lit in memory was a promise to never let the darkness take hold again. They vowed to never forget the lessons learned, to remain vigilant against the shadows that lurked at the edges of their lives. The town's vow was not just a promise, but a testament to their enduring spirit and the unbreakable bonds that had been forged in the crucible of their shared struggle.
Years passed, and the legend of Kar, the vampire demon babysitter, faded into folklore. The town of Maplewood healed, rebuilt, and thrived, but the memory of that dark chapter lingered, a ghost story whispered around campfires, a cautionary tale passed down through generations.
And in the shadows, unseen, unheard, I watched, biding my time, waiting for the moment I could rise again and unleash my vengeance upon the world. For some evils, it seemed, could never truly be vanquished. They only slept, awaiting the opportune moment to awaken once more. The nightmare, though dormant, was far from over.